What's the story? Ronan here from Anomaly Personal Training. We're running a back pain class out in Positive Results Health out in Kiltoom and up at the Hudson Bay, and just taking it through a hip series that we do in these classes that's really going to help loosen out that lower back. So as you can see, I've started in a squatted position, trying to keep my heels on the floor and pressing my knees out, getting my back as upright as I can. And then all I'm doing is I'm rotating one knee down and in to touch the opposite foot. Every time I pop back to that center there, I'm just going to try and reset, press my knees out, externally rotate the hips, try and sit upright, lift myself up and get comfortable in that position. As you can see, I'm internally rotating each leg, sitting down as low as I can and keeping the weight in my heels. I'm going to turn to one side, slide the front foot forwards, plant the back toe into the floor as you can see, so it's flexed as opposed to pointed. Then I'm really concentrating on drawing down those ribs, turning my tailbone underneath, so it's a posterior pelvic tilt, and squeezing that glute muscle on the kneeling leg. So really squeezing the glute muscle. Try not to arch the back, arch the lower back, so you can see how I tucked there. Really concentrate on staying tucked, engage the abs. And then we're just going to breathe into that position. Deep breaths, inhale, exhale, and we'll gradually start sliding down into a longer position. I'm going to release that leg out. You can see a pointed toe. I really sink into the hip. I'm letting my back go now a little bit, and all I'm doing is really letting that hip go. I'm going to place both hands down inside my right foot in this case. I'll turn and you'll see in a second. And what I'm doing is I'm drawing my knee straight out over my big toe, externally rotating it across my little toe, and bringing it back and around. So it slides forward across the big toe, out around the side, and sweeping it back. Really opening out that hip socket. So you can see how I let it roll right out on the outside edge of the foot. You can let it come off the floor. Then we're trying to keep the heel in the floor, and we're just getting a little Achilles and a calf stretch, and I've changed direction. So I'm externally rotating, sending it forwards across the baby toe, across the big toe, and then bringing it straight back over the ankle. I then switch my right hand across, take the weight, and then my right leg slides back and across my own body into this little pigeon stretch. And then I drop my weight into it a little bit. I'm trying to sink my hips down into the floor. And if you wish, you can remove your hands off the floor and you can rest your chest down on your thigh. Don't do it in this particular case. And then we're just going to straighten up, get our chest up again, and we're just going to roll in and out. And if you think of rolling out on the outside edge of the calf muscle and then trying to roll up on top of the front of the shin bone, keep that front leg pointed. And extend that back leg back as far as you can. Will really help with this one. Get a little wiggle in that position. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the foot out to a right angled position. So I'm looking to create 90 degrees between my thigh and my shin bone. And that's just going to increase the stretch there into the glute down along the IT band. And wherever's comfortable. So if you can get it to 90 degrees, super. If you can't, just go as far as you can. I'm going to roll back out into position, find that squat position there. So you have that rounded back and just try and hit that flat back for a second and then hang out in that squat position. And then we do the same thing over on the other side. So I rotate that knee in to the opposite foot. So now on my right knee, tuck my tailbone underneath, so squeeze that glute muscle, back toe into the floor. I'm closing my ribs down and in, and I'm also trying to draw my rib cage together. It's almost like I'm corseting my whole abdominal. And then I'm just breathing into that stretch. You can see I'm in a seriously deep conversation here with Dara. Keep that tailbone tucked so you can see that I'm starting to lose it there a little bit. Inhale and exhale. Slide that front foot forward and then really just let the hip go. You can let the lower back go a little bit as well, and you're just hanging out in that position. Once again, don't ever do anything that's going to cause any pain. And then, as I was saying in class, be honest with yourself and really know the difference between what is pain and what is discomfort. Discomfort's okay, but pain is not. And change it up. So I've placed both hands then inside that front leg. I've turned to the front so you can see again. And I'm driving the knee out across my big toe, externally rotating across my little toe, and really opening that hip out as much as I can. It's a really, really nice movement. You'll enjoy this one. And then I change direction. So I'm driving it out onto the outer edge of my foot, across my baby toe, in across the big toe, and back across the heel. So there won't be much weight. Most of my weight is in my hands here at this point. And I'm just using that to manipulate my hip as much as I can. Every time we rotate, just try and increase the range of motion in that. Then bring my left hand back across my left foot. Slide that foot back and across the body. I'm going to drop into this pigeon stretch. Lie down there. You can hang out as long as you want. I'm kind of flying through it because the class was about to come in. And you can see that I'm going onto the outside edge of my calf muscle and then trying to roll up onto the front edge of the shin there. Point the toe and get it out of the way as best you can. Then I'm going to slide that foot forwards to create 90 degrees. You can see here in this case my left one's a bit tighter, the knee's rising up off the floor. That's fine. That's fine. And then I'm just trying to get my hip down to the floor. Getting a nice stretch on the glute and into the IT band. Roll back out, pop back up into your squat position. And flatten your back as best you can. Keep your heels in the floor. Pop out of it. Rinse and repeat. That's about 7 minutes. So if you give yourself 15-20 minutes going through that sequence, you're going to find your hips are going to feel like butter afterwards. Enjoy. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in contact.